All right, today we are going to take a look at coordinating conjunctions. So coordinating conjunctions and using commas with these coordinating conjunctions, we do this as writers to sometimes help our writing so that it sounds less choppy. Right? We can combine two sentences into a compound sentence. So you see here, when we're combining these two ideas or two sentences to form a compound sentence, and we do that by using this thing that we call a coordinating conjunction. And coordinating conjunction examples are the word and, but, or, and so. Usually there is a comma before the conjunction. Before we jump in and get started, I'm going to skim right down here to this little hint box. So this is important because often students understand the coordinating conjunctions and how they combine those two sentences to form a compound sentence. But what sometimes they're confused about is like, well, which coordinating conjunction am I going to use? Am I going to use the word and? Am I going to use but, or am I going to use the word so? So let's look right here at this explanation. So you're going to use the word and when you're referring to the idea of also, right? You also can do this. We're going to use the word but when we want to show a difference. We're going to use the word or when we want to give a choice. And then we're going to use the word or a coordinating conjunction so when we want to give a reason or to show a result. So we're going to keep that in mind and we're going to take a look at a few examples together today. Let me zoom out just a little bit. And let's focus on this example right here in the first text box. So this sentence reads, the United States has many national parks. The second sentence is, Yosemite is one of the oldest. So we have this idea that United States has all these national parks. We also have the idea that Yosemite is one of the oldest. So we're going to use a coordinating conjunction to combine these two ideas. Now we look at this new sentence, this compound sentence, and it reads, the United States has many national parks and Yosemite is one of the oldest. So we can see that we include the comma and the coordinating conjunction and because we're talking about that idea of also. So also Yosemite is one of the oldest. Let's look at the second example here. It is home to many animals. It also has unusual plant life. Now, this is interesting. We just used the word also, so I feel like I'm going to change this from but to the word and. Now I have this new compound sentence. It is home to many animals and it also has unusual plant life. Again, two ideas talking about how the park has animals and plant life. We're just combining it into one compound sentence. Let's look at example number 3. You can camp at Yosemite. You can stay in a hotel. Now, to me, that sounds kind of like a choice, right? You can camp or stay in a hotel. So I'm going to use that coordinating conjunction or, and I'm going to use a comma along with that conjunction, combine these two ideas. You can camp at Yosemite or you can stay in a hotel. Let's look at the fourth example. I love seeing wildlife. I want to visit Yosemite. So this kind of reminds me of a result idea, right? Where I love seeing wildlife. And so I want to visit Yosemite. Kind of like a reason, right? You have a reason to want to visit Yosemite because you like the wildlife. So we're going to combine it using a comma and that coordinating conjunction, so. I love seeing wildlife, so I want to visit Yosemite. Well, let's look at 3 examples together today before you guys try some on your own. And let's talk about the coordinating conjunction that we could use. Our directions are to combine each pair of sentences to make a compound sentence. So we're going to combine these two ideas to make a compound sentence. We're going to choose the correct coordinating conjunction in parentheses. So they're giving us 2, and we need to choose 1. You may bring your dog to Yosemite. That's the first idea. Dogs are only allowed on paved trails. Well, that kind of reminds me of this idea of a difference, right? You can bring them, but they are allowed on paved trails. So to combine those two ideas, instead of rewriting it just for the sake of time, I would eliminate this period right here, add a comma, and right between Yosemite and dogs, I would write that coordinating conjunction, but. And then obviously dogs is no longer going to be capitalized. It's going to be a lower D. You may bring your dog to Yosemite, but dogs are only allowed on paved trails. Let's look at example number 2. There are wild animals in the park. You need to be careful as you hike. Kind of reminds me of like a reason or a result. There are wild animals in the park, comma. What do you think? So or but? So you need to be careful as you hike? Or does this one make more sense? There are wild animals in the park, but you need to be careful as you hike. Which one do you think sounds right? Right, it's kind of telling you, so you need to be careful. So it's giving you a reason or a result, right? Because there are wild animals, you need to be careful. So I'm going to use this coordinating conjunction, so, and I no longer need a capital. This now becomes lowercase y. Let's look at the last example. You should never leave food out in the open. You must remove your garbage. Well, this kind of sounds like an also to me, like two things I need to do. I never want to leave my food, and I must remove my garbage. I think that this coordinating conjunction makes sense. So I'm going to turn this period into a comma, add my coordinating conjunction and then y becomes lowercase on u. You guys have some examples that you're going to try today. There are 4. You need to read through them carefully, the entire sentence. On your multiple choice question, you're going to read the entire sentence, focus in on just the underlined portion, and determine which is the correct way to write this underlined portion. Again, you need to look at the entire sentence, though, to determine the relationship between these two ideas. Let me know if you guys have any questions.